Okay, good morning and welcome back. All right, so this will be our last exercise, I guess, not including the final. So this one, this is the last thing on the last new topic or the last in-class exercise based on the syllabus. So the one we did last time was the example 10.2, I think, on Tuesday. Yeah, and so right below that, we're going to do something similar to that, but it's kind of a modified example of the simulations and using Excel to do some simulations. And so this one, yeah, all right. So this one wasn't on the syllabus because I usually make it extra credit, and so that's what we're going to do for this one as well. So this, let's open up extra credit simulations. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do something similar to what we did on Tuesday, and use a different example and try to repeat the different types of simulations. And so this will be due on Tuesday along with the example 10.2 that we did last Tuesday. So I told students I'd have 4 extra credit assignments, and I think I've only had two or how many have we had? I think this is the third. So anyway, this one's going to be worth 2 because it's our last day, and I think some students need extra points. And so if you're here or if you have time, even if you're watching this later, I'd recommend doing this one, even if you don't need the points, just because it's worth 2 points. It's worth 2 assignments. And so this will count if you finish this and submit your spreadsheets. There's 3 of them, and we'll do it all. We should have plenty of time to do it in class today, but this will be worth 2 assignments because it's our last day, and I think some students could use some extra points. And even if you've done all the assignments or most of them, you might as well do it because it can't hurt you. So, all right. So this is the assignment. Let's open up. Let's open up the first one, which is ordering books. Excel only one. All right. So let me just explain what we're doing. So on Tuesday we introduced simulations, and there was essentially 3 ways to do them. The first way was just to kind of do them manually. The second way was to use a one-way data table. The third way was to use a two-way data table. We didn't get to this part on Tuesday, but we should have time to do it today. And so the point here is that if you get a different problem or some different data, you can use those similar methods of analyses to do the simulations. And so we're just trying to repeat what we learned on Tuesday with a different problem. Okay? Okay, so let's open up ordering books, Excel only one. Okay, and so you'll see something similar to what we did last time. The only difference is it's now for books instead of calendars, but the numbers are different, but the whole idea is the same. So we're going to do a manual simulation for the first Excel spreadsheet, and we'll do it all together. But if you want to use as a reference for the formulas, I'm just going to modify the steps we did in the last example. All right, so if you want to open up just the example 10.2, the formulas are on there. That's what I've got here as a printout. And so if you open this up, and if you miss any of the formulas, they're similar to the ones on there. So I'm essentially using those steps, but for a different problem. So the formulas are on example 10.2, and that's what I'm using as a guide to do this extra credit. All right. Okay, so you see here that we have cost data. So it costs $5 to order each book. We sell those books for $20, and any refund is $2.50. And so these are the demands based on the probability. So basically, there's a 10% chance demand is 1,000. There's a 25% demand is 2,000, and so on. So these are the possible demands we're going to look at, and these are the probabilities that those are going to occur. All right, and let's so let's decide based on the probability distribution and a bunch of simulations how many books this hypothetical Amazon should order. And yeah, so we'll first start by just doing the inputs, decision variables, and objective. So inputs are the cost data and the demand distribution. So these are inputs, how much the book costs, how much we can sell it for, and any refund if possible. B4 to B6. All right, that's light blue, and then the possible demand distributions and their associated probabilities, those are inputs, E5 to F9. Let's see, order quantity is the decision variable. So let's make that the light red cell for our decision variable cell. So B9 is light red. Okay, and then we're going to do simulations, but the profit part of the simulation is the objective, so we're trying to maximize profit. So you can go ahead and highlight your objective cell, G19, the highlight yellow color. Okay, so the point of the simulations is to try and see if, uh, by looking at a bunch of simulations, is there a better option than just the average? And so first we need to figure out what the average is, right? So if these are the demands, what's the average demand? Let's just take the average of the demand lists, and we'll start with that and see if we can prove that wrong. So in E10, let's just find out what average demand is by taking the average of all the demands. All right, equals average E5 to E9. Okay, so the average is 3,000. Now let's start with that in the order quantity. Just put in a 3,000. Okay, so yeah, by doing all these simulations that we're about to do, can we decide on a better order quantity than just the average? So that's the goal of this exercise here. Okay, and we'll start by setting up replication 1, and then we'll copy and paste the logic for another 1,000 simulations or so. So first, replication 1 in here, just put a 1 in A19. So one more thing before we start doing the calculations is let's make a few range names. And then we need to set up our demand distributions so it can go into the random number formula. So remember we did this. So in D5, this was step 2 on example 10.2. So in D5, just type in this formula equals D5 is 0, and then D6 is equals F5 plus D5. Okay, and then you can copy that formula, grab the bottom right corner of D6 and copy it down here like that. All right, so just check your values. This should be in D5, this is 0. D6 is 0.10, D7 is 0.35, D8 is 0.65, and D9 is 0.9, right? And so the way we set this up will confirm or determine that the random numbers will determine based on the probabilities what demand is going to be in that simulation, okay? And then we need to make a range name for this little box called the lookup table. So you can select D5 to F9, and let's call that manually up in the, let's call that lookup table. All right, so call that lookup table up there in the name box. Enter. Okay, and then let's make range names for the cost data and the decision variable. So you can do these three at once. A4 to B6, and formulas. Create from selection, left column, OK. And order quantity, select A9 and B9. Formulas tab, create from selection, left column, OK. All right, and then with the formulas tab clicked, you can click on the name manager and just make sure you got these range names. We got the lookup table, which is, make sure that's D5 to F9. And then we got order quantity, unit cost, unit price, and unit refund. Okay, so we're gonna set up simulation 1, and then copy it to do the rest of the simulations manually. But first, let's do this one. So in B19, this is essentially step 3. So in B19, the formula is equals. Okay, so here you just want a random number, so equals rand, and with open and closed parentheses, nothing in the parentheses, so it'll give you some number that is between 0 and 1. Let's drop the decimals to 2, so it syncs up with the decimals we have in the lookup table. So if you have, if you click on B19 and go up here under Home tab, you should see this little button that says decrease decimal. Hit that until we have 2 decimals. There we go. All right, and again, this is a random number generator, so your numbers most likely be different than mine. There's only a 1/100th of a chance that it's the same, so it's probably not 0.79, but it should be some number between 0 and 1. Okay. Now, if you remember, we need to get the random demand. We need to get the demand based on the random number in looking up the lookup table. So C19, the formula is equals. Equals VLOOKUP B19, comma lookup table, comma 2. So take the random number, go up to the lookup table, and report the demand that's associated in column 2 with that random number. So it's going to give you one of these possible demands based on your random number. All right, so I got 0.06, so that gives me 1,000. Again, yours will be different, or it might be different based on your random number. Okay, you're going to get one of these 5 numbers. Okay, so let's do the revenue in D19 equals equals unit price times min C19 comma order quantity. So whichever is the lower, the demand or the order quantity, multiply that times the selling price, and that's our revenue. Okay, ordering cost in E19, this is equal to equals order cost times order quantity. So whatever we order times the order cost of $5 per book. So it should be 3,000 times 5. So everybody should get the same 15,000 here. For the refund, we get a refund if we order too many books and overshoot demand, essentially. So in F19 equals unit refund times max, and then in parentheses order quantity minus C19, comma 0. So if we order too many books, we can get a refund of $250 per extra book. All right, and then the profit is just in the objective, the yellow cell, equals D19 plus F19 minus E19. So that's just revenue plus any refund if we get a refund, and then minus the profit. Sorry, minus the cost. Equals D19 plus F19 minus E19. Okay, and then let's just do a little more number formatting, and then we'll do the rest of the simulations, 1 through 1,000. So let's make demand. Instead of number, I like to format that under Home tab, format cells, and you can just make that number category with 0 decimals with the comma separator. All right, so number 0 decimals with the comma. Okay, and then all of these ones, revenue, cost, refund, and profit, if you want to select D19 to G19 and just format those to be currency. Home tab, format cells, category is currency, 0 decimals, $, and okay. Okay. So again, all your numbers will be based on the random number. So it's very likely that you'll get different values here. The only one that's going to be absolutely the same is cost, because everybody's multiplying 3,000 times 5. all the other numbers, especially the profit, are determined by the random number. Okay, so everybody good so far? Do we need anything repeated? Okay. All right, so now let's number our simulations manually. So in cell A20, type in a 2. In cell A21, type in a 3. All right. Then you can select A19 to A21 like that, and then just manually grab the bottom right corner and drag it down until Excel counts from 1 to 1,000. All right, so just grab it and count up to 1,000 like this. Okay, so we've got in the range A19 to A1018, you've numbered 1 to 1,000, right, for your simulations that are about to be determined. Okay. All right, so you've got your formula set up for simulation 1, so go ahead and select all together B19 to G19. So all of the calculations for random number, demand, revenue, cost, refund, profit. Okay, so select B19 to G19 like this, and then just the shortcut to do all of it at once. Double click the bottom right corner, the bottom right box, and that should apply all those calculations for all the simulations. All right, so here we go. Double click the bottom right corner of G19 like this. There we go. So you get a whole bunch of profits that are associated directly from the random numbers that you got in the B column. All right, so we got that, and everybody got different profits, right? If anybody got the same number repeated a bunch of times, we can fix that. But okay. All right, now let's give a range name to the whole profit um, in the G column. So if you select G18 all the way to G1018, let's call this whole range profit. Okay. Okay. So again, you've selected G18 all the way to G1018. Okay. So with that selected, let's give that a range name. Formulas. Create from selection. Top row. So this whole range will be called profit. Okay. And you can double check with the formulas tab. Name manager, you should see that your profit is the name of the range, G19 to G1018, right? So you name that whole range profit. All right, and now let's get the summary measures based on all the profits that we got from the simulation. So in B12 equals. All right, equals average of the range name for profit, so the average of all the profits. Standard deviation. In B13, the formula is equals. That one, that formula STDEV, and then profit. Okay, equals STDEV of the profit range. Enter. Okay, then you want the minimum of profit. So in B14 equals min. Okay, equals min of profit. So you get the minimum profit possible. And then you want the maximum profit. So equals, in B15 equals max. Equals max of profit. Okay, so again, the average and the standard deviation will probably be a little bit different because we have different random numbers and different simulations. But everybody should get that their minimum profit is 10,000, and also you should get that your maximum profit is 45,000. So these two numbers should be the same, and so double check that you got those the same. But these ones will be different because of the logic of the random numbers. Okay, so now we need to do the distribution of profit table over here. Okay, so you can scroll over to, what is this? I-17. And let's call this distribution of profit. Okay, so in I-17, that we just gave that a title, distribution of profit, and we need to list, what do we need to list? We need to list the profits. We need to list the frequencies, and then we need to list the relative frequencies. All right, so in I-18, let's call this profit. In J18, let's title this frequency. And in K18, let's title this relative frequency. Okay, so what we'll do in this table is we'll list the possible profits, we'll list the occurrences that each happened in the 1,000 simulations, and we'll get the relative frequencies, and we'll confirm that all the profits are accounted for, but we should get 3 options for profit, the lowest, I think, being 10,000, right? Yeah, so if you scroll down your profits, you'll see that you only see 3 possibilities, 10,000, 27,500, and then 45,000. So these 3 are the only things that should be occurring down your simulations. So the lowest option, we'll list that here, is 10,000. So in I-19, just type in 10,000. Let's list the middle one. The middle one is 27,500. So type that into I-20. And the maximum possible is 45,000. So let's type that in I-21. Okay, and then let's count the number of times out of 1,000 that we got this, this, and this, starting here in J19 with the COUNTIF function in J19 equals okay equals COUNTIF profit comma I19. So count how many times in the profit simulations that we got the result of 10,000. All right, so I got 106 times. Yours is going to be a little bit different because it's random. Then let's just grab the bottom right corner of J19 and drag it down to J21 like this. Okay, so this is the number of times I got 10,000, the number of times I got 27,500, and then the number of times I got 45,000. And these should sum to 1,000. So double check in J22 by summing them up to confirm you get 1,000. So in J22 equals sum of J19 to J21, and you should get 1,000. Yep. Okay. And then your relative frequencies is the frequency divided by the number of simulations, which is 1,000. So in K19 equals J19 divided by 1,000. Okay, and then grab the bottom right corner of K19 and drag it down to K21 like this. Okay, so there's all the relative frequencies. So this is like 8.5%, this is like 25%, and this is like 65.8%. Okay, so let's also confirm that this sums to 1 because we have to account for 100% of the relative frequencies. All right, they have to go somewhere. So grab this one, J22, and just drag it over to get the sum. And this sum, so basically this sum should be 1,000, and this sum should be 1. Okay, so we got that, yeah. All right, then essentially step 11, we're going to do the other data table, which is the data table for average profit versus order quantity. So you can scroll over to M17, and let's give this title. All right, data table for average profit versus order quantity. All right, if you can make that bold if you want, Control B or hit the bold button. All right, and then here in Oh, okay, hold on. So first let's title this. So this should be order quantity, right? So let's type in M18, the title, the subtitle here is order quantity. All right, and then in N18, this is average profit. Okay. And then in N19, let's link in the formula to the average profit. So in cell N19, just type in equals B12. All right, and B12 is your average profit calculation, right? Yeah. So whatever goes here automatically goes over here to get the average profit. Okay, and then let's list our possible order quantities that we're choosing from and see what the average profit is based on the simulations. So if you look over here, we're choosing from 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and 5,000. So you can just list those over in the table. All right, so starting here, M20, type in 1,000. All right, M21 is 2,000. Okay, so those are our options. All right, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. All right, so based on the simulations, we're trying to calculate or estimate what the average profit is based on these choices. All right, so in this range, you got 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. And M20 to M24. Okay, let's do the data table. Okay, so you want to select M19 to N24 all together like this. All right, so make sure you start here because you want to get the formula. So M19 to N24, and then data tab, what if analysis, data table, row input cell is blank, but the column input cell should be the one for order quantity, which is, I think, B9. Yeah, so that's our decision variable. So row input cell is blank, column input cell is B9, and hit OK. All right. All right. So this I had the same issue last time. It just didn't calculate. So if you see that all the numbers are the same, that's easy to fix. We just need to tell Excel to calculate it. So you can select N20 to N24, and then just, where is it? Formulas tab. And there should be a button called Calculate Now. Okay, here it is. So Formulas tab, then hit this Calculate Now button, and it should update it. There we go. All right, and then if you want, while you've got these numbers selected, let's just format those to be currency. So Home tab, Format Cells, categories currency, and okay, there we go. All right, so did we get the data table done with the average profits next to the corresponding order quantity. So like if we ordered 5,000, this would be the average profit that we got based on the simulations. Okay, so everybody got all this, including the changing the numbers and the formatting for the data table here. All right, a few more things, and we're done with the first part at least. So let's make a graph or a chart of average profit versus order quantity. So you can select M20 to N24, okay? And then insert tab, recommended charts, and that's the one we want, the clustered column. So get the clustered column and hit OK. All right, so here we go. So let's just format this a little bit, and then we'll see what our best order quantity is. Okay, so if you click on the chart, let's just give names to the axes. All right, so click on the chart and then plus sign, or go to chart elements if you're using a Mac. And then let's click on axes titles and let's remove the check for chart title. So remove chart title and check axes titles. So in this one, this axis is average profit. Okay, and this axis is order quantity. Okay, and so the goal here was to determine the order quantity that gave us the highest associated profit. So let's just confirm what we see in the chart and what we see in the table. You can select N '20 to N24, and let's just do a conditional formatting to confirm the highest one. All right, so select N20 to N24, and then conditional formatting under Home tab. Conditional formatting, top bottom rules, top 10 items. And once you get to top 10 items, just change the 10, hit the little arrow till it goes to 1. And OK. Okay, so, right. So you can see in the chart, and you can see in the table that the order quantity that gives, based on my simulations, yours might be maybe a little bit different, but based on the simulations here, ordering 4,000 books gives me the highest associated average profit, right? So you can see that in the chart, and you can see that here that just sticking with the average in this case wasn't the best based on the probability distribution. Okay, so I essentially determined, or I concluded that we should order 4,000 books, not 3,000. Okay. Did everybody get all this for ordering calendars, Excel, or ordering books, Excel only one? All right. So everybody got the data table and the chart and the confirm their highest order quantity. Yeah. All right. So we're done with this one. So let me know right now if you need something repeated because I'm going to close it and we'll do the next one. So we finished ordering books, Excel only one, and we have two more to do, but they're a lot quicker than this one. All right. So you can go ahead and save this one. Okay, that one goes here. Um, sorry, extra credit simulations, right? Okay, and we got two more spreadsheets to do to complete this one, but we got plenty of time. Yeah, we still got 40 minutes or more. All right. Okay, so we finished this one. Now let's open up ordering books, Excel only two. All right, so now let's do a one-way data table to do the analysis. So we did this part, and now let's do this part. Okay, so this is ordering calendars. Sorry, this is ordering books, Excel only two. All right, here we go. Let's do the same or a similar analysis, but this time we'll do, instead of doing the simulations manually, we'll use a one-way data table to do the analysis. Okay, so first thing is let's just make our range names. Okay, let's name our lookup table. Okay, you got to select D5 to F9. Okay, and let's call this up in the name box. Call that lookup table again. Okay, so D5 to F9. Call that lookup table up here. Enter. Let's give a range name to our cost data. So select A4 to B6, and then Formulas tab. Create from selection, left column, OK. And let's give a range name to our decision variable. So select A9 to B9, Formulas tab, create from selection, left column, OK. All right, and just double check that you got the lookup table, which is D5 to F9, and then the cells for order quantity, unit cost, unit price, and unit refund as your range names. Okay, let's set up the simulation here. So we're basically we've done these formulas before, but we got to do them one more time, or I guess two more times. But in B19, here's your formula, equals. Okay, equals VLOOKUP, and then in parentheses rand, open and close parentheses, comma lookup table, comma 2. All right, and this is the exact same thing we did before, except now we're putting the random function in the lookup table instead of outside of the function, okay? So it's going to go look at the lookup table, give a random number, then give you the demand associated with that random number. So you're going to get one of the numbers, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5, one of those options. Okay, revenue equals unit price Okay, so the formula in C19 equals unit price times min, B19, comma order quantity. So again, whichever is lower, demand or order quantity, multiply that by the cost, the selling price, and that's our revenue. Okay, in D19, the formula is equals unit cost times order quantity. So whatever we order times the cost of the books, $5 times 3,000 is always 15,000. Refund in E19 equals unit refund times max order quantity minus B19, comma 0. Okay, so if we order too many, then give us a refund of $250 per book, if there's any extra. And then profit is equal to, this is cell F19 equals C19 plus E19 minus D19. So it's just revenue plus any refund and then minus cost. All right, and then let's number our replications, and then we'll set up the data table. Okay, so in right here, A24, this is 1. A25 is 2, 3, and then let's select A24 to A26, 1, 2, and 3, and let's drag it down, drag the bottom right corner until we count up to 1,000 to get our simulation numbers. Okay, so in A24 to A1023, you've got your simulations numbered, 1 through 1,000. And then let's link the profit formula here. So in cell B23 equals F19. Okay, so the profit calculator goes right there. Okay, then let's do our big data table. So you got to select all of this, starting with A23. Okay, so select A23 all the way to A23 to B1023. 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23. 10, 23 Okay. A23 to B1023. All right, and then let's make our data table. So data tab, what if analysis, and then data table. Okay, this is a one-way table, so row input cell is blank. Column input cell needs to be any blank cell to get random numbers. So just, I think we had, you could put C23 for the column input cell. Okay, so you got that whole range selected. Your row input cell is blank, and your column input cell is C23. Hit it OK. All right, and you should get a bunch of different profits based on the random numbers in the simulation. So you get a list of 1,000 different profit results, which should be a bunch of different 45,000s, 10,000s, and 27,500. All right, so did that work? Okay, and then let's give a range name to all the profits, and then we'll calculate the summary stats for those. So if you select B24 all the way to B1023, so all of the profits from the simulations, select B24 to B1023. Okay, B24 to B1023, and let's manually call that up in the name box. Let's call that profit. Okay, enter. All right, and you should, if you want to double check, you can click on formulas in name manager and see that your profit range is B1024 to B1023. Yeah. Oh, let's see. So I think if you only got the same number, which is 45,000, you got to select all the. So if you select. Okay, there you go. So okay, no problem. So everyone else got the numbers for the profit for the profits in the simulations. All right, so then if you got the range name for profit named, let's just get the summary measures. So in B12 equals average of profit. Okay, so equals average profit, so the average of your profit range. Okay, here we want the standard deviation of the profits. Okay, equals STDEV profit. Enter. Then we just want the min and the max of the profit simulations equals min profit. All right, then equals max profit. Okay, so you got your average profit, your standard deviation and profit, and then your min should be 10,000, and your max should be 45,000. And again, over here, this is you should get some 95% confidence interval, which you can say that this is the profits in this range with 95% certainty. Okay, so this one we did a simulation analysis based on the probability distribution, and we used a one-way data table to do the simulations. Okay, so I think we're done with this part. Everybody got this one done? Yep. Oh, sure. Can you show the average form? Yeah, no problem. Okay, so you got your range name for profit, and so here in B12, the formula is equals average of your profit range name, and the formula here is equals STDEV of the profit range name. So just the general formulas for average and standard deviation. Okay, and if you get different numbers here, that's okay because we're doing random numbers, and so these don't have to be the same. Yeah. All right. So everyone else good on this one? Anything else we need to get repeated for the ordering books Excel only 2? All right, so this one's done. The one-way data table, we can close this, and this again goes into that the same discussion forum. All right, so that goes in here, and we got one more to do, and then we're done. So we didn't get to this one last time, but we have time today to do the two-way data table to do the same analyses. So back here, extra credit simulations, we did this one, we finished this one, and now let's do number 3. Okay, so extra credit simulations, ordering books, Excel only 3. All right, so we've done this one, we've done this one, and we've got one more to do, and then that's it. Okay, so now we'll set it up the same, but we're now going to use a two-way data table as a third option to doing this type of simulation. So you can see the two-way data table set up down here, and that's what we're going to do for this one. All right, so first thing we got to do is do our range names again. So we got to give the lookup table a range name. So first thing again is select D5 to F9, and let's call that lookup table up in the name box. Okay, we need range name for cost, price, and refund. So select A4 to B7, and then formulas, create from selection. Left column, OK. And then for the order quantity, select A9 to B9, then formulas, create from selection, left column, OK. And let's just, under formulas, click on the name manager, and you see that lookup table should refer to D5 to F9, and then you got your order quantity, your unit cost, your unit price, and unit refund. Okay, so we need to set up the first simulation, and then we'll do a two-way data table. So this part's the same, but the data table analysis is a little bit different. So starting in B19, you're going to put in those. These are the last time we'll do the formulas. Equals in cell B19. Okay, so same formula exactly as last time, equals VLOOKUP rand, open and close parentheses, comma lookup table, comma 2. All right, so you know what this does. It goes to the lookup table, gives a random number, and reports the demand that goes along with that. Revenue, same exact formula as the previous spreadsheet, equals. Equals unit price times min B19, comma order quantity. All right, so the selling price times the minimum of order quantity and demand. Okay. All right, cost, same exact formula. It equals unit cost times order quantity. It's going to be the same number. Refund, same exact formula. Okay, equals unit refund times max order quantity minus B19, comma 0. All right, so if we order too many, we get a refund $250 per extra book. And profit's the same, equals. Equals C19 plus E19 minus D19. Okay. So revenue plus refund minus cost. All right, so now the difference here is we're going to use a two-way data table to do this this analysis of how much to order. So here we go. In A23, just type in equals F19. Okay, so in A23, the formula is equals F19, so the profit cell. Okay. So whatever goes here goes here. Yep. Equals F19. Okay, and we've got our data table set up for 1,000 simulations, and you should have the order quantities of 1,000 to 5,000 here. So what you got to do is just select everything, and let's do a big two-way data table. So first select, oops. Okay, so select this whole range together. So you want to select A23 and select everything from A23 to J1023. So you got to select all this to do the data table. A23 to J1023. So have all that selected. All right, so with that selected, A23 to J1023, let's make a big data table. Data tab, what if analysis, data table, and now we have two things because we have a column and a row. So the row input cell is B9. And the column input cell is B10. All right, so we're looking at how order quantity varies with a random number, and there's nothing in B10 just because we want any blank cell to get a random number. But your row input cell is B9, and your column input cell is B10. Hit OK. Okay, so yeah, did that work? So you should get all the associated profits, 1 through 1,000, of ordering this, this, and this. So you should get a different profit based on the different order quantity column. Okay, did that work? All right, so everybody got the two-way data table. And now let's get the summary measures from this. Okay, so let's calculate the average profit from ordering 1,000, and then the average profit for ordering 1,500, and so on. So starting here in B14 equals okay equals average B24 to B1023. Okay, equals average B24 to B1023. So the average of all the simulations for if we order 1,000. Okay, and we'll do the same thing here, but we want the standard deviation of that range. So in B16, I'm sorry, B15 equals STDEV. Of B24 to B1023. Okay, so right here in cell B14, this is equal average B1024 to B1023, and in B15, this is equals STDV B24 to B1023. Okay, and now if you got those formulas, you can just select them. So select B14 and B15, and then grab the bottom right corner and drag it across like this. Okay, so that should have given you the average profits for each of the possible order quantities. So the average of the 1500s, the average of the 2000s, and so on. And it should have given you the associated standard deviations as well. Okay. Okay, everybody following along here? All right, so we got one more thing to do is to make another chart, clustered column of average profit versus order quantity. So you can select B13 to J14. So all the average profits associated with the order quantity. So again, select B13 to J14, and let's make another chart. All right, insert recommended charts, and then click on that first one, just the clustered column, and hit OK. All right, let's format this, and then we're almost done. So click on the chart and hit the plus sign or go to chart elements. And same deal, let's click on axes titles. Let's unclick chart title. This is average. What is this? That's average profit, and the bottom one is order quantity. Okay, average profit versus order quantity. And then again, the last thing we'll do is just get the highest average profit, and we'll confirm that that's what we see in the picture. So if you want to select uh, B14 to J14 and just home tab. Home tab, conditional formatting, top bottom rules, top 10 items. And change that to 1 and hit OK to get the top profit. And that's with ordering 4,000. Is that what we see in the chart? It should be. Yeah. So we've determined again that there's a there's a better option. It appears in ordering the average of 3,000. In fact, we can expect the highest profit if we order 4,000 books, right? Not 3,000. Okay, so based on my simulations, you might get a slightly different result, but what these 1,000 simulations tell me is that we should, to get the highest expected profit, we should order 4,000 books. Okay, so did we get that final part? The order quantity with the highest associated average profit, and then the cluster column here. All right, so I think we're done with this one too. So if you need anything repeated, let me know because I'm gonna save this. and close it up. Good. Okay, so when you got those done, sometime before next Tuesday, go ahead and post under extra credit simulations the ordering books 1, the ordering books 2, and the ordering books 3 that we just finished. So those 3 go for your assignment, and again, that counts as 2 because it's our last day, and so make sure you do this one because it's extra credit and it counts as 2 assignments. Okay, I think that's all I want to do for today. And make sure you get the example 10-2 and then the extra credit in by next Tuesday. And that's our last in-class exercise. Next week is our last week of meetings. So Tuesday we'll do a practice exam and review for the final exam. And then at the conclusion of class on Tuesday, I'll post your final exam for a week to do. Okay, so I think that's it. Make sure you come on Tuesday for the review and the distribution of the final. But yeah, everybody have a good weekend and stay safe, and I'll see you Tuesday.